Hello and welcome to another episode of Industry Celebrities. My name is Kimberly Scott. Industry Celebrities is a podcast where I interview professionals in any industry, doesn't matter what industry you're in. I always like to state that because people think it's only in one certain industry, and it's not. And I ask them about their passions, their industry, and they give a little bit of advice to their younger self, which we could all use, at least I can. Still, a lot of it I can use. If you would love to hear other episodes or just like to check it out and see what this is about, please go to ThatKimberly.com, where you can choose to listen on just about any platform. Okay, now that I got that out of the way, let me welcome today's guest, Rachel Ani.
Hello, hello.
Hello, Rachel. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
So tell the audience a little bit about yourself, please.
So my name is Rachel.
Okay.
Texas girl at heart, born here, lived here all my life.
Dallas, Fort Worth, all your life.
I was born in Houston, but
Okay.
we forget that little bit.
You don't claim that part.
I mean, there's a lot of family there. I love Houston, but Dallas is my
Okay, that's your home. Got it.
love,
No
pride,
problem.
and joy. But Texas wins at the end, right?
Yes, absolutely. Texas girls.
So
for sure.
Texas girls
Yes.
at the end of that. I'm a hairstylist and makeup artist at Salon D in Dallas, and oh gosh, I've done this officially since 2007, but I've done a little bit of hair and makeup kind of all throughout my life. It just took me a minute to realize
That's what you wanted to do.
that's what I needed to be doing with my life.
And you say officially, like, did you
Went
know?
to hair school,
Oh, okay.
started the process to be licensed because I'm a hardcore believer in that everyone should be a professional
Absolutely.
in
Get
their
licensed,
industry.
Yes, absolutely. Did you fall into it? Did you see something that excited you about it? Or did you know since the time you were 5 and you're playing with your Barbie dolls or toys, whatever it was?
You know, I think every little girl plays with her Barbies, and you play with their hair, and you play with your friend's hair, and your mom's hair, and you want to do your grandma's hair. So there was a lot of that in my youth. I grew up wanting to be on the stage. I wanted to sing. I wanted to act. It's what I did all throughout middle school and high school. I was very competitive. I went to a very small private school, so Theater 1 kids were part of production first before they were on the stage. So we all had to learn the aspects of how you put on a production, whether it was lighting,
Stage,
sound,
everything.
stage management. And I was like, well, those all bore me. I'm going to do hair and makeup, right? Because
I want to make things look pretty, yeah. Yeah,
Exactly.
Get it.
Pretty ugly, it depends, because
Yeah.
on stage you're not exactly doing things for
you want
beauty. You're
correct.
doing things for the sake of
set,
the audience.
yeah. Good point when it comes to theater.
You know, especially when you have to learn how to draw on crow's feet and do some special effects stuff and things like that. So I enjoyed that so much when we did the types of plays that we did. And at some point down the road, I was on the stage, right? But I would still do my own makeup and a few of my friends, you know, depending on what genre the play was in, whether you were doing something in the 1940s or you were doing Pride and Prejudice, you have to look into the history of what did people look like, what suited that time frame.
Yeah, so you're putting
you
together
do a
the
little bit
right
of hair as well. And I think it was my senior year of high school where I was like, you know, as much as I love theater and music and the stage, I don't want to be a starving artist. And I knew so many talented individuals from theater, from music, that never made it anywhere. And it's not for lack of talent, it's because they didn't have the connections. They didn't know the right person, or you have to questionably climb the totem poles of the entertainment world. I knew that's not what I wanted to do. Which left me at this loss of, well, what do I do? That's what I always thought I wanted to do, but I knew I didn't want to be a vocal teacher, and I didn't want to be a theater teacher. Because I was like, I don't want to teach. I don't want to be in high school. I don't want to do collegiate teaching. That's just not, I know that's not what I want to do. So what's left to me? So I went to UNT in 2002 after I graduated and started with my basics. And I was like, well, I like TV. It's like, let's think about broadcast journalism. They're on TV, but then you realize that you're not exactly going to be a news anchor right away. You're going to start off at the bottom of the totem pole, like you do in every industry. And I was like, but I don't like that bottom of the totem pole. That's not the climb I want to make. So that quickly went away. And 2003 rolled around. I'd finished my freshman year, and Salon D was losing a receptionist, and my uncle Ardem, who owns Salon D, was like, hey, I know you're looking for a part-time job while you're going to UNT. I need a receptionist.
Come on.
I was like, all right, cool. I'll do it in the summer. We'll see where it goes. Well, because I had a makeup background also, I started to do makeup at Salon D. So I would do a lot of weddings, a lot of proms, any other special occasion that someone had, I would do makeup for. And I started to build my really extensive makeup kit. And there was a part of me where I was like, wow, I wish I could just go to makeup school. And there's like the Makeup Forever Academy in Paris and so many other amazing.
You mean you just don't learn on YouTube?
Abilities. So this is prior to people thinking they were professionals on YouTube.
Okay, got it.
But there's no student aid for your dream school in Paris.
Yeah.
So second major change, third major change. The years are going by, and I just felt lost because the things that I love, I didn't want the career that fell afterwards. As much as I love music, as much as I love literature, and as much as I love theater, I knew I didn't want to teach those subjects. And one weekend, I think it was like 2006.
After you'd already been here.
I'm working here the whole time. I'm at UNT. Like I haven't gone. So like every other day, like one day I was in Denton and one day I was here. So because I commuted, I didn't live at the University of North Texas. And one weekend I worked this wedding with a hairstylist. She doesn't work here anymore. And we were in downtown. And she ran behind. So I had gotten all the makeup that I was allotted to do that day done with, and I started doing updos. And it was a really busy Saturday. It was a big makeup and hair party. And I left thinking, wow, I worked. I had a great time working. I'm done with work when I leave, and I made a great amount of money for that day. Why am I not doing this? I'm good at it. I enjoy it. I look forward to doing it.
Yeah, your uncle owns a salon.
Well, right, and even my great uncle owns a salon in New York. So like, I have a family of
come from the background
that are
that never thought about it.
Not on an official like Rachel's gonna grow up and be the best hairstylist in the world. That was not what I thought of. And it was just So I thought about it that weekend, and I think that Monday I went into my accounting class because my last major change was business. Because they tell you can do anything with a business degree, right?
That's a whole other podcast, but
And I sat there in this class, and all I felt like was that guy in Office Space, where he was just droning on and like in the cubicle and just stuck. And I was like, this is not who I am. I cannot do this. So I withdrew and I never went back, and my parents were very unhappy with me because I went to private school for so many years, and and
How long were they unhappy? Do you think that because it was just such a quick sudden change? I mean, because you maybe had tried some other things before?
I think just because they spent so much investing in my education, and don't get me wrong, once you learn something, you learn something. So it's not like, oh, I put my kid in private school, I expected her to go to college and to be like everyone does, like be a lawyer, be a doctor, be successful, because we look at these titles of these industries and equate them to success because of the amount of money that they make. But money isn't everything.
I believe, correct, absolutely.
And if you truly do something you love, the money does come, but it's not immediate.
Correct. Or it could be, but it's not work to you. In my opinion, that's what I feel. If you love what you do.
But it's not like I go home miserable every day with, God, I got to go to the office again, and I got to do something that just brings me no joy.
Correct.
Some people have the ability to do that. I can't. I have to love what I do.
Me too.
Or I won't do it.
I agree with you.
And I remember my dad, because I think by the time I graduated, it was 2008. He's like, Rachel, we're in a terrible recession. This is a horrible time to try to build something that people see as a luxury that's frivolous. When it comes to a lot of the services we get as women, right? They're not necessarily like, I need this for my job. A lot of it is to make us feel better about ourselves and whatnot. But, my answer to him was, if I can build a business and a clientele starting in 2008 in a terrible recession, because people do need their hair done. I have to look professional for work.
Absolutely.
Then I'll be fine down the road.
Yeah.
What's the worst that could happen? And it's 2019, and I'm doing very well for myself. And I've done a lot of amazing things with my career.
Awesome. So you had the epiphany that you wanted to pursue more than just makeup. You
Right.
wanted to start doing hair. So what was the first step you took to going down that route 100%?
So working at Salon D,
By this time, you're a receptionist.
right, but I'm
you're-
doing a lot of makeup, right?
okay.
And I got to see some of the best of my industry at their craft. I work in a salon of very successful stylists that have excellent careers and clientele. So it was inspiring to see,
Yes.
to have that privilege.
To be around those people and to see
Right,
them.
because you are the environment you put yourself in.
Yeah.
And my uncle always did an apprentice program while I was working at the salon. He always had an assistant, but then it grew into, I want to grow this assistant into becoming a successful stylist. So I would see a lot of now my coworkers who apprenticed under him as well, and I would watch their success
Yeah.
and how he mentored them and groomed them into the stylists that they are today.
Yeah.
And
Which I think is amazing. I definitely,
you know,
know,
every
thought-
industry has some sort of that. You know,
Yeah.
a lawyer does an internship, a doctor does a residency. I mean, even in the hair industry, I think that is a very important thing because
Yeah.
it's very different to learn something in school and then to learn real life application. So I watched a few of my friends go to hair school and come into their own. And I was like, all right,
I'm going to do it. This
cool.
is what I want to
And
do.
I got to see the different schools and the methods from these different apprentices. So I decided I wanted to go to Paul Mitchell after that because I had quite a few of my friends go there and get a really well-rounded education because they didn't make you choose cut or color. You got to learn everything. So
Because some schools make you choose cut or color. Back
they'll
then they
teach
did.
it to you,
Okay.
but you know, in some, like Tony and Guy, once you're in the salon, you're either a colorist or you're someone who cuts.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't want to limit myself
Yeah.
in that way in the beginning. I think it's one thing down the road if you choose to specialize in something and to only do that. But starting out, I feel like you do need to know the foundations and basis of everything and
Yeah.
improve yourself in all aspects
Yeah.
of your career.
That's in any career. I agree.
So I went to Paul Mitchell, and the way hair school works in Texas currently is you're contracted 1,500 hours to before you graduate, and you can take your exams for your license. They contract you for a year. I got mine done in about 10 months because I was in and out. Like,
Yeah.
I knew what I wanted to do. I knew where I wanted to work. So I would go to school every day, and I would come work at the salon at night. I would do the reception work in the evening. Mondays were my days off, but I would work at the salon. There was a lot of times I brought my friends up to the salon while I was in school. So Ardem would show me, you know, this is the salon way to highlight. This is what we need to do to get you ahead of the game.
Yeah. So that was sounds to be very helpful and
It was.
and
It was.
sped up your track.
It
if you
did
will,
speed up my
into-
track. I got into the honors program at Paul Mitchell a lot sooner
Congratulations.
than
Yeah.
probably I should have, but I loved it. And hair school was that perfect adage of, you know, find the job you want to do that you would do for free, because you would go to school every day after you were out of your classroom and you would do hair on these people in hair school. And we didn't get paid for that. That was a part of my education. But I still woke up excited
Yeah.
to go do whatever it is that was on my schedule that day.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. So speaking of excited, what do you enjoy the most about being in the beauty industry, I should say?
my favorite thing outside of like the beauty we create is that everyone's just so happy and excited to see you. You don't look at your hairstylist like you do, unfortunately, like a dentist.
Correct. I was gonna.
Or certain other doctor appointments that not everyone-
Gynecologist.
Yeah, you know,
Even
I
if you
mean,
like them.
even if you like them, it's nothing personal. It's
Yeah,
just not
absolutely.
the same comfort level.
Yeah. I agree.
You know,
Yeah.
and you build relationships with your clients.
For
These
sure.
are people you see every 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, and you get to see them throughout the years. You get to see their children grow up. Their children sit in your chair.
Yeah.
You know, I've got a great amount of kids that are graduating this year that I've known since they were like in 5th grade.
Since they
So,
could come and get their
you know,
haircut.
yeah, they got their haircuts with me. I got to see their first proms, their first highlights, and you get to hear about all the good things. Sometimes the not
Yeah.
great things in a person's life, but it's nice that in an hour or two, you get to have this connection with
Yeah.
someone, and you're an important individual in their
Yeah.
life.
They're happy when they come in to see you, and they're happy when they leave. Or
We
if you're
hope
doing
so.
your job.
We hope so. We hope that they're
Correct.
happy when they leave. But that's what we strive
Yeah,
for, right?
absolutely. Yeah, I think somebody that in any craft or any industry, if they're proud of and they're excited about what they do want you to leave feeling happy and satisfied. Yes. So I definitely, knowing you personally, yes, I do see that in you as well as your uncle.
And it's nice in the sense also that I get to do something different, not just every day, but even within an hour.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not doing the same thing over and over. And even if it is, okay, you know, I'm doing a highlight every day, but the highlight is different because of the person I'm doing it on.
And the color and the style, everything is going to be different about all of it.
Our industry is big on education and improving yourself.
Yeah.
So
yeah. That's awesome. That is definitely very fulfilling.
Yes.
I can see being around you all, everybody is very happy, you know, everybody is excited to be at work, you know, like you said, your clients are excited to see you.
Yes.
So I can definitely see how that brings joy to someone's life, or being in a career like that would definitely bring an individual like yourself joy. Then you get to have purple hair.
That, yes.
itself is
you get
amazing.
to be yourself. That is another quintessential amazing thing about our industry. There isn't a judgment on what you look like, what your hair color is, whether you're tattooed
or not,
or who you love or not. We're so accepting of the humanity of us all. And
and being you, just doing you and being you, whatever that looks like is awesome. Yeah. So what would you tell somebody that wanted to get into the beauty industry?
Be prepared to work, because it isn't easy. It's not easy. You're not going to get this fantastic clientele that just pops up out of nowhere. But I think that's true to all things in life. You have to work and reap the benefit of that work.
Yeah.
I mean, be prepared to get out of your box. Take a class that you're not as comfortable with. Learn, improve yourself.
Would you recommend somebody going to, like you did, even though yours was more because Ardem needed a receptionist, would you say somebody to go do that? Like go be a receptionist or go be like shampooist? Is that the correct title?
A shampoo tech.
Okay,
because in Texas you no longer need a license to shampoo.
Okay.
I've had quite a few of my clients who are now in the industry, you know, asking, you know, hey, how did you end up here? Because I got to see them before they went off to college, and then they ended up going to cosmetology school.
Okay.
You know, and it wasn't like a one little sentence email I wrote him. I wrote him like a page-long email of what my life has been, and give yourself the opportunity to sample any industry you're interested in, whatever it is. So become a receptionist at a high-end salon. See how it works.
Yeah.
Maybe shampoo hair. See how all that plays out. Watch the real-life aspects of what it is, and not just the Hollywood magic that we see of what our industry is portrayed at, because that's a completely different road.
Yes, for sure. Absolutely, I could see that.
So I recommend someone to absolutely sample the industry that they're interested in, regardless of what it is. Because even within the hair and makeup world, there's what a normal stylist and cosmetologist does behind the chair. But then there's other avenues. You can be someone who is strictly a bridal professional. You could be someone who strictly works for productions and print. You can go down the road of film.
So it's very segmented if you want it to be.
If you want it to be. And once you're in that industry, you kind of almost have to pick which road do you want to take, because it's not possible to do all of it and all of it well. You know, like a doctor has to eventually pick his path, whether he's a general practitioner or he is a pediatrician, etc. You know, you kind of have to pick your focus once you realize there's all these paths.
Once you get licensed and you're now stepping out there in the world, you need to pick a path.
You need to pick a path, but before you get to that point, work in a salon and see what it's like. Maybe work at a makeup company, like a professional makeup company, and see what's it like. What do they teach for their classes?
Go on set somewhere. They're always willing to take some, you know, intern free
extras,
assistants
to help out. And make sure it's something you're excited about, because
you work long hours no matter what. They're definitely,
you stand all day.
Yes, you stand all day. And same, I'm sure if you were to be out in the field, it would be a sit down type of
and where you and I can chat maybe in the chair when I'm highlighting your hair. When you're on set, it's not about you chatting with people. It's about being quiet. It's about getting the job done. It's about being called when they need you, not that freedom and autonomy that you would necessarily have in your station at your chair.
So know that before you get into that.
Yes.
For sure. Well, that's great advice. Well, now, speaking of advice, what advice would you give to your younger self? Because that's my one standing question for this podcast.
Take the time to really explore your options. Don't just follow someone's cookie cutter mold they put out for your life.
That's a good one.
You know, because I think we're all raised to, like, you get up, you go to school, everyone has to go to college.
I don't believe that anymore, but yes, correct. I have
Like I
seen
said,
that.
education isn't a waste. Always improve yourself.
Yeah.
But instead of thinking, I need to go to college, start thinking maybe when you're younger, what career do I want?
Yeah.
And what's it going to take to get me there? And not just, you know, the dollar amount that goes with that career. What is the commitment to that career? Like, am I going to have to work my desk job and then take work home with me? Is that something you want? Does that coincide with you wanting a family? What are the goals that you have for your life?
Yeah.
And what best fits that for you? Because what's happiness to me might not be happiness to you.
Absolutely. That is very true.
No one should tell you how you feel your happiness should be or what it takes for you to be successful.
Correct. I think that's a hard lesson for any younger self.
Right.
Especially from the generation. We're kind of sort of close to the same age, right? Yes.
Right. I think so. I think we are.
I feel like the tides are changing where it is about our happiness and it is about figuring it out, not necessarily school is the first thing to go and do, but to try different things, taste it. I feel like parents are becoming more understanding in that, and there's more resources where maybe it's not immediate school or trade school or college. There's all different, you know, you can go online to YouTube, you can get a lot of online certifications and so many different things. So I feel with all those things combined, things are changing, you know.
It's finding work-life balance.
Yes, for sure.
And I
what
don't
makes you happy
think
and what makes
that's
you happy.
something that people promote well when you're young. I didn't feel that way in high school. It was always about take your SATs, get your best score, you got to do these things, you have to do these things, you have to go to this, and then after you get your bachelor's, go get your graduate. But to what end?
Yeah.
Take the time to figure that out for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And be your own best advocate. Do your research.
Do you think it had anything to do with being from a like immigrant family, or because my mom's Latin?
Yes. So my mom's from Lebanon.
Okay. So maybe.
And we're Armenian. My
Okay.
dad is an Armenian, raised here as well.
Okay.
So both my
what I
parents
was
are
looking-
very Armenian. So culturally, yes.
So do you think it's a cultural thing? Because
In part, absolutely, because a lot of, whether it's Armenian, Latin, whatever
it is,
a lot of other countries and a lot of other cultures place such an importance on education and
Correct.
bettering yourself because they want the best for their kids.
Correct.
They
and
want
they
you
worked
to
really
be
hard to get to where they're at to make sure that their children have the
what
best.
they have,
Correct.
and then they want you to take that and run with it and
yeah.
be more successful.
Yeah.
And, you know, like I said, success is what you
Yeah.
define it
Yeah.
also. So, yeah, I think that was a difficult pill for my parents to swallow at first.
Once you communicated with them, right, and showed them that you were serious about it too, do you think that's another thing?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I think people just tend to look at the industry of cosmetology and hair and makeup as a play industry, right? It's like, oh, you're just being a girl and you're just playing. I don't know why it's not taken as a serious.
Still to this day?
I think so to some degree.
Really?
It's sad to me that it is, but
I mean, when I come in here, I see everybody, and maybe it's those who don't go to a professional salon, maybe. I
or
don't
the
know.
type of salon
Or
or the
the-
caliber of salon.
Correct. I've always gotten my hair done and my nails done, I guess, just because that was important to my mom. She believed in, you know, professionally looking, like you said, you know, professional. And every hairstylist I knew was a professional, you know.
Right.
You know, very dedicated, and it was definitely a career. It wasn't like a fly-by-night.
But I think people just view success as you're making X dollars a year and above, and these are the industries that do that. So that's what those type of parents want to push you toward, because they want you to have that level of success, to be the very best, to be someone, to be on the top, but you still have to be true to who you are inside.
For sure.
And
I agree.
I feel like when you are and you work hard, that success will come. And then it's not, oh, I'm climbing a totem pole. It's, I'm doing better and I'm bettering myself and I hit this mile marker. What's next for me?
Yeah. Great advice. Great perspective as well. So tell the audience a little bit about what you're doing new and also how they can connect with you.
So what's new and different for me is I went to hair school in 2007, it's now 2019, and in 2018 I got my certification to be an educator for a extension company that I work with.
Congratulations. And I thought you didn't want to be a teacher of sorts.
Life is funny that way,
Yeah, I
right?
know, huh?
So I think my change of heart came because I didn't want to be that teacher like in high school where I was trying to be passionate about something and I felt like I was wasting my time with people who didn't have that same love of a subject.
Yeah.
Who just took an elective because that's what they needed to get their diploma.
To get the
Because
hours in.
I love something, I need people to love it the same way
Yeah.
as me. And bless the teachers who can do that.
That's
I
hard.
wish there was more of them.
Yeah.
I know I am not that person.
Yeah.
But I love what I do, and I love doing extensions. It's a great transformation. I love the before and afters I post.
It is. They're pretty cool.
And
People
we
ask me
all
if I have
see-
extensions, and I don't know if to take that a compliment or not. But
Because your hair looks so beautiful.
Okay, well, but
Right?
Yeah. But to your point is like there's an art to it, like because when they're not done properly,
Right,
you
we
can
all know the
tell.
bad extensions. Everyone can point out the bad ones, but I take a little pride when I have
You can't.
clients of mine who come back to me and they're like, no one ever knows I have extensions.
That's awesome.
And when I tell them, they always are like, what?
Yeah.
No way. That I would never have known. So
Yeah.
I enjoy that.
Yeah.
And when I find that that's what people want to learn, I really enjoy teaching them and I want to hone that craft for them.
Because it is to make it look like
Seamless.
seamless and like it is the real hair, like my hair's real.
Not that mullet line.
Correct. That's a good way to put it, but yes.
You
not
know, where the
mo-
colors match
Yes,
from roots to
everything,
end, where
absolutely.
it's
So,
just perfect
yeah.
and seamless. So I started that in October, and it's been a lot of fun. I've gotten to work a couple trade shows this year for them, which is cool. We've gone to Long Beach, we've gone to New York.
Fun.
You know, so we'll see where that path takes me.
Yeah, you never know.
No.
Always stepping up the game is
Always stepping up the game.
That's
Exactly.
awesome. Well, how can people connect with you, or if they're interested in knowing more?
This lovely thing of social media exists.
What?
I know.
It
And
does?
somehow I managed to get my name on all of my platforms. So it's the Rachel Ani in whichever platform
That's
you
awesome.
like to use, follow.
Correct.
et
The
cetera, but-
Rachel Ani. That is the handle.
That is the handle. That's literally the handle.
Or they can always call the salon as well.
They can
so.
call the salon as well, and I prefer them to do that because I have a few people direct message me on Instagram, but I get way too busy, and
You don't want to neglect.
I don't
It might
wanna
be a couple days
neglect-
before you get to them.
if I see it, because sometimes if I'm not following them, it's in that other inbox that I forget that
Oh,
exists. So
yeah.
please call the salon
Yeah.
and schedule a consultation because that's the best way.
Well, thank you, Rachel, for joining me today. I
Thank
really
you for having me.
I really, really appreciate it. And thank you to everyone listening. Again, if you want to choose what platform to listen to, go to ThatKimberly.com and do so. And also, while you're there, on either of the podcast platforms, leave a review. Let me know what you think. And until next week, sharing is caring. Thanks.